How are you doing, everyone? Today, we're diving into a company that's absolutely crushing it the last few weeks in the AI infrastructure space. If you've been wondering who's actually powering all those ChatGPT responses or Midjourney images, you're about to find out. Let me hit you with something mind-blowing right off the bat. When you ask ChatGPT a question, your query isn't being processed on OpenAI's own computers. Nope. It's likely running on Coreweave's massive GPU farms. Think about that for a second. While everyone's obsessing over which AI chatbot is better or which image generator makes the prettiest pictures, there's a much more fascinating gold rush happening behind the scenes. The companies building the actual infrastructure that makes all this AI magic possible are making an absolute killing, and Coreweave is the kingpin. This company went from crypto mining nobody to a $50 billion valuation in just a few years. And check this out. In 2024 alone, Coreweave's revenue exploded 700% to $1.92 billion. You're probably thinking, okay, but what exactly do they do, and why should I care? Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why Coreweave might be the most important AI company there currently is, and why their story matters to anyone interested in where the tech world is headed. So what's Coreweave's secret sauce? In the simplest terms, they're a specialized cloud provider that's laser-focused on one thing, providing the most powerful GPU infrastructure possible for AI workloads. While AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud are trying to be everything to everyone, running websites, storing your photos, and oh yeah, some AI stuff too, Coreweave has gone all in on building the ultimate playground for AI companies. The company's origin story is pretty wild. Back in 2017, they started as Atlantic Crypto, just another cryptocurrency mining operation. But when the crypto market crashed in 2018, the founders made what turned out to be one of the smartest pivots in tech history. Instead of selling off their massive inventory of GPUs at a loss, they transformed into a cloud computing provider specializing in high-performance GPU infrastructure. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Just as they were building out this capability, the AI revolution kicked into high gear with ChatGPT's release in late 2022. Suddenly, every tech company on the planet was scrambling for GPU access, and Coreweave was sitting on a gold mine. Today, they're operating 32 data centers housing over 250,000 NVIDIA GPUs. Their client list reads like a who's who of AI: Microsoft, OpenAI, Meta, Mistral AI. When these companies need serious computing power for their AI models, they're calling Coreweave. You might be wondering how Coreweave managed to grow so fast in a market where they're competing with tech giants like Amazon and Microsoft. It comes down to four key advantages. Coreweave has what you might call a special relationship with NVIDIA that gives them privileged access to the latest and greatest GPU hardware. When NVIDIA releases new chips, Coreweave is typically first in line. They were the first cloud provider to offer NVIDIA's H200 Tensor Core GPUs and among the first to deploy the H100, H200, and GH200 chips. They've even built a $1.6 billion supercomputer data center for NVIDIA in Plano, Texas, described by NVIDIA as the fastest AI supercomputer in the world. Why does this matter to you? Because in the AI world, having the latest GPU hardware isn't just a nice to have, it's everything. While AWS customers might wait months for access to the latest chips, Coreweave can get you up and running within weeks of a new release. That's a massive competitive advantage. Unlike the major cloud providers who've had to retrofit their infrastructure for AI workloads, Coreweave built their entire platform specifically for GPU-intensive tasks from day one. Their Kubernetes native architecture is optimized for large-scale GPU-intensive workloads, delivering what they claim is 10 times faster inference spin-up times and 50% fewer interruptions compared to competitors. What does this mean for you? If you're running AI workloads, you get better performance, less downtime, and ultimately more bang for your buck. When ChatGPT exploded onto the scene in late 2022, it triggered an unprecedented rush for GPU computing power. Traditional cloud providers simply couldn't keep up with demand. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella described it as a bolt from the blue that forced them to scramble for capacity. That's right, even Microsoft, with all its resources, was caught flat-footed by the AI boom. Coreweave was perfectly positioned to fill this gap. With their specialized focus and NVIDIA relationship, they could quickly provide GPUs to businesses desperate for compute power, including Microsoft itself, which turned to Coreweave in 2023 to help meet OpenAI's exploding compute demands. Coreweave has locked in some truly massive contracts that give them exceptional revenue visibility. In March 2025, OpenAI signed a 5-year cloud computing contract contract worth approximately $12 billion with Coreweave. As part of the deal, OpenAI acquired a stake in Coreweave through a private placement of $350 million worth of shares during the IPO. Microsoft remains their largest customer, accounting for 62% of their 2024 revenue. Overall, Coreweave had over $15 billion in unfulfilled contracts as of 2024, with $14.7 billion in remaining performance obligations as of March 31st, 2025. That's a lot of guaranteed future revenue, something most companies would kill for. You're probably thinking, why wouldn't companies just use AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud for their AI workloads? They're the established players, right? Several key differences set Coreweave apart. The major cloud providers are built as broad platforms for diverse computing needs, while Coreweave is purpose-built specifically for AI and GPU-intensive workloads. It's like comparing a Swiss Army knife to a surgeon's scalpel. Both are useful tools, but when you need to perform brain surgery, you want the specialized tool designed specifically for that job. Coreweave provides direct hardware access without the virtualization overhead found in hyperscaler environments. This delivers superior performance for GPU-intensive tasks, a critical advantage for AI workloads where every millisecond counts. If you've ever tried to figure out your AWS bill, you know it can be a nightmare. Coreweave offers a per-instance, per-hour pricing model that bundles GPUs, CPUs, RAM, networking, and storage. This transparent approach typically results in 30 to 50% lower costs for GPU-heavy workloads compared to hyperscalers, whose complex pricing structures include separate charges for compute, storage, networking, and additional services. As I mentioned earlier, Coreweave consistently beats the hyperscalers to market with the latest GPU hardware, typically deploying new NVIDIA chips within weeks of release rather than the months it might take AWS or Azure. Where Coreweave falls short is in ecosystem breadth. AWS, Azure, and GCP offer comprehensive ecosystems with hundreds of integrated services, while Coreweave focuses almost exclusively on raw compute power. For companies that need end-to-end AI platforms with integrated services, the hyperscalers still have an edge. But if you just need massive GPU power at the best price and performance, Coreweave is tough to beat. Now, I wouldn't be doing you any favors if I didn't talk about the risks. Despite the impressive growth story, Coreweave faces some serious challenges that you should be aware of. 1. Extreme client concentration. Microsoft accounted for 62% of Coreweave's 2024 revenue, with the top two customers combined accounting for 77%. This concentration creates enormous risk. If Microsoft were to reduce its usage or build more of its own infrastructure, Coreweave would be in serious trouble. There have already been concerning signs. In March 2025, the Financial Times reported that Microsoft had dropped some services with Coreweave, citing delivery issues and delays. While Coreweave denied this, the timing was suspicious, coming just a week after reports that Microsoft had walked away from over a gigawatt of data center operations. Second, contract and lease mismatches. Coreweave faces a potential risk due to mismatches between their data center leases, typically 3 to 15 years, and their customer contracts, generally 3 to 5 years. This creates a scenario where they could be on the hook for long-term lease commitments without guaranteed customer revenue to cover them. But to be honest, guys, despite these very real challenges, I'm still cautiously optimistic about Coreweave's future. Here's why. First, the AI infrastructure market is still in its infancy. According to industry projections, global data center workload dedicated to AI will grow from approximately 44 gigawatts in 2025 to over 150 gigawatts by 2030. That's massive growth potential, and Coreweave is well positioned to capture a significant share. Second, Coreweave's first-mover advantage and NVIDIA relationship give them a sustainable competitive edge. While the hyperscalers are racing to catch up, Coreweave's specialized focus and deep expertise in GPU infrastructure will be difficult to replicate quickly. Third, their contract structure provides exceptional visibility, with over $15 billion in unfulfilled contracts and committed contracts accounting for over 95% of revenue, featuring take-or-pay provisions that ensure payment regardless of utilization. Coreweave has a level of revenue predictability that most companies would envy. Coreweave represents one of the most fascinating infrastructure plays in the AI revolution. They've ridden the wave of AI adoption to extraordinary growth, positioning themselves as the specialized provider of choice for the most demanding AI workloads. Yes, there are significant risks, client concentration, debt burden, and governance concerns chief among them. But the market opportunity is enormous, and Coreweave has built genuine competitive advantages that will be difficult for others to replicate. For you as an investor or tech enthusiast, gist, Coreweave offers exposure to the AI boom without betting on which specific AI models or applications will win. No matter which AI company comes out on top, they'll all need the kind of specialized infrastructure that Coreweave provides. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more deep dives into the companies shaping our technological future. Drop your thoughts on Coreweave in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about their prospects. See you in the next one.